Hey guys, welcome back to another part. In this one, we're going to talk about set dressing and adding props, telling some story about this abandoned church, and I'll also remind you about the 3-stage detailing method again as well. So let's go into Unreal Engine. So this is where we have left off. We have done some post-process volume editing, and we've also tweaked some of the fog, lights and whatnot in the last part, and I think this is looking quite good. If you want to change up your lighting setup, please feel free to. You don't really have to stick closely to the course, but let's actually start tweaking some of the settings first. First of all, I think our brightness is a bit too low, so let's go back to our camera settings over here and let's search for exposure again, and we can tweak our exposure here. Maybe a little bit brighter might be nice. So I think that is good. Let's go back to our post-processing volume as well, and in saturation let's drop it down a bit again, because I think it's too green right now. So let's drop it down to about here. Yeah, I think that looks okay. Let's put this post-processing volume under lighting as well. Okay, so we're gonna add in some props, but before we do that, I don't like how this light lamp is glowing. So I want to go into our material instance and see what we have. And we have a emissive over here. Let's turn this off and let's save this. Now the emissive is already turned off and that looks a little bit better. Now we have this well over here, which we can move around to see where it fits. Maybe it fits around there. That is okay, but we can't really see much of what's going on. And we can art direct how everything looks. So let's go into our foliage and let's select our bushes that we have added. So this bush, and I believe these bush. Let's delete a few around here as well. So let's delete a few here. We have a few around here as well. Now we can see the well a little bit more. That is exactly what we want. I'm gonna move it around here and rotate this like this, so it's leading towards the church. Now we can't see the cross up top because of this over there. So what we're gonna do is go into our foliage. Let's select this foliage and then rotate this around so our cross is a little more visible. Maybe even bring this up just a tad and make sure that this is fitting within the whole that. And that looks okay. Now, back into foliage, I want to paint in more grass. So we have some grass assets that we put in, the grass clumps. So let's paint these in around here. Oh, selected, we have. And let's paint in around there. Kind of like this. And around here as well. And we can even move further and then reduce the paint density, make the brush size to about 20, and let's make this a little smaller actually, and this one a little bit smaller as well. And we're gonna paint some grass growing on top of the path as well. A bit more chaotic, kind of like that. And we're gonna add some more leaves like this. This up, maybe density to about like 200. Paint more leaves. because nobody has been going around here for the last century or so. So it's abandoned, right? I think that looks okay. Now, I want to change the color of the leaves. So let's go into our Megascans, 3 plants, and we have dead leaves over here. Open up the material instance over there. Now what we want to do is in color overlay, I'm going to change this to something a little bit more yellow. Like that. That looks generally okay. Maybe too saturated and too bright. So let's drop it down a bit. Like that. And what we can do is we can also turn on color variation. You can see how these are being affected per instance. So I want to just add a little bit of variation into it. And let's save this. Now I think this is looking quite good. We need some more details on the right, but now we're going to focus more on the silhouette of the entire image. So let's add bigger details first. Let's go into abandoned village, and we have meshes, and in props we have this cart over here. You can place it down like this if you want, and we can place it around here. Rotate this so it kind of makes sense. That looks quite good. Maybe even move it backwards a little. That. And that looks okay. Now we're going to put some bags on top of this over here. So let's rotate this around. So set dressing part is the most fun part because there is no right or wrong. You can tell a story using your assets, your detailing, and it is actually super fun because you can spend hours in trying to figure out what detail that you want to add. With a strong foundation like this, like our project right now, there is no right or wrong, so you can just add details over details and assets over asset that will contribute into our final product. So I recommend you have spent a lot of time in doing this until you're satisfied with all the details that you're putting in, and it will generally lead to better better image overall, better animation. Maybe this is too big right now. Could just use this little hay bale over here like that. It's quite nice. And what we can do even here is to put up a cross like this, as if somebody buried someone over here. That's the story that I was talking to you about. Like, think of a little backstory of why you're placing these assets. I don't like how this is sticking out too much, so let's lay it down a little bit more. That. We move this towards the right side a little bit. Towards the camera a little bit more as well. Make them smaller. Make it smaller. A little bit more apparent that it's a cross like this. And let's select these. Move this towards the right just a tad. I think this is looking quite alright. I think this is too close to the camera right now, so let's bring it right side again. So let's bring it to the left, maybe. Front. Let's make sure that our placement is correct. That looks quite nice. I think our cart needs a little adjustment, so that should be fine. Okay, now we can add more stuff, like maybe a lantern over here. Now, if you hate this grid that is showing over here, what you can do is you can go to, I think show, yeah, in show, and then click on grid, and that will turn off the floor grid that is disturbing your eyes a lot of the time. So this down maybe a little bit bigger, like that. And that looks all right. And what else do we want to add? We have some barrels as well. So we're gonna go near our church, and we're gonna place down some barrels around here. So let's make this a little bit bigger. Duplicate this by holding Alt. Rotate this around like that. Something like that. We don't see it much because of all the foliage around there, so we can actually go back into our foliage and let's select just the bushes that we have added, and then we can remove these bushes. So around here there's a lot of stuff going on. Remove these. You can see some barrels over there now. We can add these bushes back again later on once we are done with the detailing part. Maybe just one barrel might do the trick, actually. Yeah, one barrel might be good. And let's bring in one more lantern again and place it up here. And we can also add a wheel around here. Just lay it on the wall like this. Okay, I think we have used most of our prop assets. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna adjust some foliage again, and we will download a new ivy plants, which will scatter across in the next part. So let's actually go to Quixel Bridge for now first. Now Quixel Bridge can take quite a while sometimes, so be patient and wait for it a bit. And we can search for ivy. And we'll have a broom creeper. This is what we want. So just click on high quality or medium quality if you don't have a good computer. But I think I'll do a high quality and click on download. While that is downloading, we can tweak some of our foliage that we want. So deselect everything for now, and I want some flowers around here. So let's select some of the flowers, and I'll paint density down to about 4 or 5. Around here we're gonna paint some flowers around here for some variation across our ground. Maybe a little bit more on this side as well. And that looks good. And I want to also add some wild grass that are tall. So this one and this one over here. Oh, this is a flower. So this is the wild grass that is tall. So I want to paint in some wild grass like this to give it a bit more variation into our grass. It's looking quite alright. I think our overall tone is a little bit too blue or green. So what we can do here is to go back into our post-processing volume, scroll down until you see tint and temperature. You can tint it towards the purple a little. And I think that is looking a lot better now. So I think we have downloaded our Room Creeper. So let's actually click on add to add it into our Unreal Engine. And we're gonna lay out all the IVs in the next part. So I'll see you in the next one.